Hello. Hi, what's going on? Sorry, I didn't mean to just like, hey, what's up? Let me take this off because I only got one good earring. It's misplaced. The other one is misplaced somewhere. In this room. I'm hoping. So let me just put this up. I was saying that I would probably keep this on during the whole video as a pirate because I have been accused of stealing, but I've only stolen hearts, and I do have an obsession with bountiful chests and beauties. So now it's like, because I like a pirate, like treasure chests, and they call it, the beauty. Actually, in September there is International Talk Like a no National Talk Like a Pirate Day. I don't know if they made it international, but I know it's National Talk Like a Pirate Day. And if you talk like a pirate in certain bars, especially in New York City, you get a free beer. I don't drink beer, but there is a one that is sweet enough where I'm just like, yay. It's a grapefruit. I think it is considered a beer, like they let it pass, like under the line. But the thing about that though is it's it's, it's a German name kind of beer, and it's a grapefruit flavor, and it's actually really really tasty, and it's sweet enough that you don't think that it's beer. At least I don't. It's so funny because like I don't even know what the big deal is. Like really, it's just like if anybody drinks, like like let us live, okay? Like let us enjoy the good times. I think it's like really Debbie Downers who are very particular about like no 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 that's not a beer, that's not a beer. I'm just like it's in a can. I mean not can. It's either in a can or it's in a bottle. Like I'm drinking I don't know hard lemonade, or I'm having a drink that is apple cider. I used to always think that the apple cider but I think it's like bow and arrow or something like that. Because honestly, I don't drink that much, so it's just like what's it called? But like those cider drinks, supposedly those aren't beer, and I'm just like, it looks like beer. It looks like beer. That should be good enough for me. That should be good enough for me. It looks like beer. It looks like beer. It has alcohol in it. That should be good enough for me. That should be good enough for everybody. But unfortunately, some people are very particular about like, oh no, that's not a beer. Like, why are you saying that you drink a beer and that's not a beer? I'm just like, wow, okay, I don't have I don't be in your environment, like for real. Like it's not like, I'm entering a contest here and I'm trying to get like, I'm trying to like dominate the area and overrule you with my choices. No, I'm literally saying for my preference, hey, look, I want to join in on I don't know a happy hour, and you're like, yeah, so we have beer here, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, like, do you have like a cider? And you're like, no, we don't have it. I'm just like, oh, do you have like I don't know, a hard lemonade. They're like, "No, no, a beer, beer, girl, beer." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, well, like, okay, sorry, bye." It's like, could you not? Could you not? Like, yo, I mean, I understand like hard seltzer is not a beer. You feel me? Like, I can understand that, but it's just like apple cider, like, I mean, cider, obviously. What the fuck? Where is it at? Cider, cider, beer. Strongbow. Oh, so okay. So now you say it is Angry Orchard. I like Angry Orchard, and for some people they get really particular and they say that that's not a beer. But I'm saying if it looks like a beer, I feel like it's a beer. Like, you should have it there then. Okay, I'm not gonna be like a freaking angry Karen or something like that. Where it's like, oh, if you don't have it, then you don't have it. Fine. And if you want me to have like a beer, then like I'll have a beer, like I'll hold it like a fucking kind of accessory. But like don't try to make me drink something that I don't like, or like don't try to make me feel excluded on something that I don't like. Why are we getting this conversation? Oh yeah, we're talking about pirates and bars. Or at least I was talking about pirates and bars. But yeah, the way I can go on to a conversation till next is just it's a bit much. But anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So yeah, and that's why I didn't want to wear the one earring, but I'm pretty sure I would have rocked it. I can do nice. I've done some really interesting jewelry pieces back in my day in my glory days. I might do some actually. I cannot. I look forward to actually bringing back some nice, interesting jewelry pieces back into my collection. Although some people have stolen some of my jewelry, so that's that's a little as an experience that I don't want to have to go through again. I mean, nobody will want to, but it's just like yeah, I definitely want to go ahead and at least mess around with a few like new items, just kind of switch things up. I had one that had like the cross on it, and I wore that one for a very long time. And then I had like just the dainty small little hoops, and I did have like studs for a moment. But I want to have something. I used to wear something that was obviously like more bold. I used to have ones with like the G, and I used to wear like the costume jewelry and things of that nature. Like I like wearing different types of jewelry. I know some people might have like sensitivity to fake jewelry, but I mean, there's and no disrespect to them. I'm not even mentioning really into this conversation to negate them. I'm just saying that I myself like to go. I used to be the person who used to like to go for like outlandish kind of like little more outlandish kind of jewelry pieces and statements. I used to really love brooches. And Gonti necklaces. And that's part of like the old part in me because my grandmother used to also like wearing that kind of stuff, and that's where I got like my influence from. When I was a kid, I shit you not, like when I was like seriously less than like 7 years old, like five or so, like I had this tiny baby ring. Like it's insane. Like how people put jewelry on their children now, but like earrings. I had earrings too, but like I had this really tiny ring that I had to have been like as a baby. And it's really pretty. It's green. I don't know if it's still around because I have it in storage and hopefully nobody took it, but it's really beautiful and it's green. And I think that's for like probably for my birth month, well, March. And I also have another one that has an ankh on it, the mother ring. So that one's beautiful too. So yeah, like those are really nice. So yeah, I'm thinking about bringing it. I'm bringing jewelry, certain jewelry back. Ah, okay. So I sing like him because I don't like him right now. So yeah, the thing is, I wanted to do a video because we are sandwich. I titled this video "Good Friday Easter sandwich" because it's Saturday. Tomorrow is Easter and yesterday was Good Friday. And it's so weird that, my lady bits started yesterday. And I know it's a little bit too much TMI that both people obviously stalking me. They do have, they are privy to that information. So and that's so weird because I hate the fact that people have tethered me to certain type of values and beliefs and things of that nature. And they're just like, you see that? That's some type of spiritual reference. And I'm just like, no, no, I'm just a woman who just happened to move on a calendar day and just do woman things. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video is because I'm just really tired about all the bullshit that people have used in order to capitalize and exploit me off of their selfish, not just political, because it became political and obviously this whole government and stuff like that. First off, we know that the Christianity and the whole Christian belief is, you know, um, has a history that they have tried to work through. They made bumps in the way, but they've tried to make through where the foundation, close to the foundation, is based off on um, pushing their belief system and narrative onto other people, and that's why it's so. And with figures like Alexander the Great, and just the Atlantic, the African slave trade, um, those pivotal moments and prominent figure were, and also the Christian Crusade were prominent roles within Christianity. Excuse me, not prominent roles, but prominent moments in history where these people have definitely indoctrinated other civilizations and impeded on other people's, spaces and boundaries and belief systems in order to force a religion down their throats so that way they can practice it. And that's why with the United States, it says in God we trust, but it's just like, okay, but who's God though? We do respect everybody's God though, but ultimately it's just like I believe that it is just that one dominant God. And there is there is a respect of everybody practicing their own beliefs, but obviously it's, within certain kind of realms, so like limitations where you're not trying to harm or murder somebody off the intent off your own belief and your value system. Now, sadly, things have gone extremely left when things have gone extremely left with people who celebrate Christianity because they are going ahead to still make those kind of sacrifices and movements and say that it's all because of God's God has been talking to me and all that other kind of bullshit. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. It's just so weird because we've literally just passed a day where it was just about like God giving up His Son in order to erase people of all their sins. And it's just like, why are people still trying to, sacrifice their children? And I mean, both like literally and metaphorically, where you have grown ass women who are competing with children that they decided to bring into this world because the children don't have any choice and decided to impede their values and their beliefs so that way they can either live twice or they can just go ahead and take the things that child wants. These women are like, fuck your boundaries. I want to do what I want you to do. That in itself is a sacrifice. And it's just like, why are you doing that kind of shit? It's just like, yeah. And then these women, they fall back behind on, oh, but I'm a good Christian woman and things of that nature. And it's just like, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, no, not the way how you're moving, bitch. Not the way you're fucking moving. You're a horrible woman indeed. And yet you're trying to throw up a fucking narrative that you have good intentions for somebody, but you really are making that person hurt. And it's what you want and not what that person wants. Like you would be offended if, say, your child wants to get a restraining order against you because you are just doing the most. This child doesn't want anything to fucking do with you. And somehow you want to go ahead and make a slanderous campaign in order to try to take over that child's rights and violate that child by any means necessary. And just like, oh, and abuse and manipulate the expression of, oh, well, I brought you in this world, I can take you out. Not like in a sense where that child decided to just become a fucking Damien, a fucking hellspawn, where it's just like, hey, look, you got to do what you got to do. Should that child become a fucking zombie or want to try to take you out? If the child is trying to, burn you while you're sleeping or some shit like that. Like some kids are fucking crazy, okay? Like, yo, this shit is wild. I've heard the stories, I've seen some stories, and I just literally all I have to do is just open up my window and see these little bastards out here doing some menacing shit to animals or to just their neighbors and just the kids, other kids in general. And I'm just like, wow, your family environment must be sick and tragic. And a lot of these people within Trenton, especially the world right now, is making tarot, spirituality and other practices and things of that nature trending because one, Christianity is extremely suffocating considering that the people right now are like are hypocritical Nazis. Well, excuse me, they're Nazi Christians, but not just that, but they're also hypocritical. They are very strict and stringent on like certain kind of rules and regulations, but they also lead an ulterior and different life hidden in the background. And so while they're over here pointing the finger and doing a lot of things, behind the scenes in order to point and do a scarlet letter against other people, these bitches are literally have been fucking, living the dark ass life. And they think that, oh, baptism is the only thing that's gonna fucking save them. Or they can just, say three Hail Marys and then that'll be it, the end of it. Or they'll go ahead and sneak a whole bunch of money, or they'll pay a whole bunch of money to the pastor or to the church or things of that nature in order to absolve them from their sins. And that's not the thing that's going to save them. Ultimately, it's not. It really isn't. But because of these people, that's what I'm saying. This is another reason why I don't respect the Bible in its entirety. It's just like it's a man-made book, okay, based off on the whims and the manipulations of man, okay, and women. Women have obviously, you can see it right now during modern day, whispers in the ears of men and does things in order to manipulate certain kind of narratives in order to either get their way. Now, don't get it twisted because men themselves are extremely horrible, still, many of them, but it's just like, it's there's just like really, where is it? Where is the safe space? Where is the fucking safe space? I wanted to say that because it's very contributive to the bullshit that I've been going through in terms of a lot of the Black people that have decided to manipulate and abuse religion in order to or try to oppress me and try to harm me by nearly any means necessary, including with the justice system, the judicial system, and because so many of them primarily work within, obviously, the city of Trenton. So you have people that were working for the state, and this is the headquarters. Trenton, New Jersey, is the capital of New Jersey. So with that, there's a lot of things that come central. In here, this is central New Jersey, but it's just like we're the central main point. And for a long time, this place looked like a shithole. It really did. And there are a lot of people that are working with the city who are extremely corrupt. I already told you about how many years ago that they had to remove the mayor who got slighted off a small charge, but literally was doing far, far worse. And you might think that people who are part of the city of Trenton or who are trying to save their asses right now are going to tell you, oh yeah, well he just went to the FBI because of like a parking violation and things of that nature, and the way how he set that up to just basically, oh, it was just they're gonna lessen down the crime, but like, oh, it was just a parking situation. No, he wanted to open up like a parking lot, and he wanted to just gloss over the red tape and all the other kind of shit in order to help Trenton. And no, 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 it doesn't work like that. It's what they're going to tell you in order to save face, but it's worse. Think of it like this way: the Al Capone, one of the most nefarious criminals there is in history. He was a murderer. I think he did racketeering. He did a lot of things. Definitely read him up. He's a notable person. And he has some kind of, some quotes in there that I don't disagree with. I must tell you that. But like, um, again, you gotta put it down on record where I told you, I've literally come to you when it comes to like, when people try to expose me or like try to tell on me about things that they think that I've done behind my behind my back. I'm the one that is willingly and have been able. Definitely, I still have the videos up where I will tell you everything about me. But the thing is that I appreciate rules. I feel like rules are necessary. I grew up being conditioned in a household where I took care of everybody, even grown as adults. And to this day, I have nothing but a whole bunch of grown ass adults mimic my character and having to either switch to stories in order to go ahead and try to vilify me. But in reality, they are projecting themselves. Now, going back to um, Al Capone, it's just like this man has had a really dark, serious history, but the only thing that he got charged with was because of taxes. Taxes. He didn't pay his taxes. That was what the I think the FBI had got him on, which is crazy, right? That was something small, but he had did so much other fuck shit, crazy, because he wanted the quick come up. It was a time where gangsters and that kind of shit, was popping, was a trending situation. Like you always had, you had Babyface Nelson, you had Bonnie and Clyde, and you had your different type of mixes of people who were definitely dipping and dabbling over here, rubbing elbows with politicians and doing a lot of criminal shit. So I'm just saying to say that even though Trenton, New Jersey, has the mayor who was taken out and escorted by FBI for something that seems as small as parking lot situation, not like a parking wanting to establish or create a parking lot situation. Pretty much that's what they probably would trickle it down and water it down to. But ultimately, he did some fuck shit. And the sad thing is just that obviously with somebody who's like a mayor, he's going to want to try to keep his hands clean for one. For two, he's also going to want to go ahead and spread that money to other people. For three, he is a loose lip motherfucker. For four, he had other people who were being caught up out there, including I think like his brother or something like that, who was literally across the street that got strung out on coke and had got apprehended by the cops and things of that nature, and that was on the paper. There was a whole bunch of like mess and mischief with with Trenton, New Jersey, and people are just trying to like make it seem like, oh no, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Just like, no, I do know what I'm talking about. I've been very silent about it. I've just been very, observing a whole lot of situations. It's just that I didn't need to bring it up because I thought that you guys had the fucking cojones and the fucking smarts to be careful about how you would definitely speak around me. Um, when it came to being very disrespectful. I thought that you guys, with your titles and things of that nature, that you would actually, run it up. And by run it up, I don't mean like you were actually doing anything to me. I meant like run it up on actually being fucking accountable, you know, being about it in regards to, the persona that you play. You like to take these little poses with your little cigars and things of that nature, trying to act all bad and cool. Um, and that and not even in criminal cool, but just like, oh, like, like you're tough and you've overcome and you've done this and that third. But it's just like, yeah, you had to do a lot of nefarious fuck shit in order in the background in order for you to attain those positions for a lot of you people. You had to also look away when a lot of bad shit was happening. You also shook hands and it had money in it. You were looking away when certain things were happening, and it's a lot of bad things. So I just, for you to say that, I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's just like, come on now. Like literally. So a lot of these things that you will not for a lot of these things, but for a good number of things, you can go online and you can go ahead and find it that's in the newspaper, or you can just ask people and just look at the way people be talking and just kind of look at those conversations. Put it back in the back of your head. Notate it if you need to, screenshot it if you have to. And there you go. You know? All of a sudden, you have it's more than just intuition, you have actual details. And you can, if you wanted to investigate it any further, then you can. You absolutely can. So all right. One of the things I also wanted to talk about was how people were very like these niggers and coons were just, very consistent in order to try to save face. Primarily the one that I was calling out. And pardon me. I do believe in multiple videos. I was discussing with you about how I don't want to have a relationship, and I've explained to you exactly why I don't want to have a relationship, like with anyone right now, especially with anyone from my past. But it was just like you guys have made it very known, unprovoked, on your own accord about your level of standard when it comes to relationships, like on how low your expectations are. There's a difference between, hey, like when I think I've spoken about this before. I think I've spoken about this other day, or it's just like, hey, look, when you know better, you do better, right? When you know better, you do better. But here you guys are still doing like these outlandish things. Like you have the resources, you have internet, you have history, and yet you do these outlandish things where you will tattoo your face with somebody's name or with somebody's face. You will try to baby trap that person, and you will try to get other women or condition other women to think like you in order that way you can try to maintain a level of toxicity where you are ruining other people's lives. But you think that it's funny because you right now are not being inconvenienced. There's this continuing hamster wheel of a bunch of broken, harmed black women and just women in general in which they are really fucking twisted in the fucking mind, and they want to go ahead and just continue this spinning wheel of abuse. It's also weird because and I don't want to make it seem totally hopeless because on TikTok the other day I was scrolling along and I happened to find this dermatologist, I believe that he is, and he was discussing about sorry, dermatologist, I believe that he is, and he was discussing about how um, there's this thing called I think like a guinea worm or something like that. It's a very disgusting parasitic worm, and it lays larvae in water and things of that nature. But I digress. The whole point of that is just that the president got so disgusted by these creatures that he decided to implement a regime in order to exterminate these motherfuckers once and for all. And from what I hear is just that the guinea worm will be extinct in several years. I think like in 2030 something. And it was just making me think that, it's much easier. Okay, so this crazy creature that was once, once started out in the millions during the time when that president during I think it was like in the 1960s or the 1980s, but during that time when the president just, was sick of these people and just had it like, I mean, sick, not sick of these people, sick of this creature and had enough that he had implemented a regime. I think around the time of like 1980s or even around this time, it was like maybe it dwindled down from the millions to 14 people. If we could just be that fucking determined, consistent, and have that same kind of force and due diligence in regards to within ourselves, then it would be honestly for the better. A lot of people don't want to do that. And it's evident because of the technology that we make um, every single day, and the way how we just want to go ahead and escape in social media, and the way how we rather just make up lies about people, and the way how you want to try to oppress me. Have you tried multiple times in order to try to get, one ups and successes off my fucking back? Okay, that's evident that people don't want to do the fucking work. So whenever they start projecting and saying the things, in regards to trying to, whenever they try to project their inferiority onto me, I just know that these are people that will always be the fucking guinea worm that will just not be extinct, because it will just go on and on forever until there's literally a generation that'll just be like, you know what, enough. Because I think right now it's just like we're kind of seeing it for ourselves and we are witnessing it, but somebody's waiting for, like, somebody to do something about it, but then they are the same people who are letting the shit slide, or like allowing the shit to further go on. Like, they are encouraging it, they are enabling it, or they are sympathizing with said losers that are, doing this shit, or definitely trying to allow them to escape any kind of judicial punishment. Like, there needs to be something done in order to. I've already done my part. I've gone to court, I've done the footwork, and I'm literally speaking out. You are the bitches that are so fucking handicapped in order to try to maintain some kind of superiority, but every single time you keep embarrassing yourselves. You've literally, like, you've mistook my grace for something as, I guess, like complacency, or even as me wanting to go along with your silly ass belief systems. And it's literally something that I spit on, and I've spat on multiple occasions, because I told you that I find all your religions and things of that nature as a fucking joke when it comes at my fucking expense. Like, I don't respect any kind of fucking religion, value system, like belief, anything, if it's at my fucking expense. I thought it was supposed to be like, do no initial harm but take no shit. And here you guys have done, and you've run with it to the point where it's obviously run down, and it's only shown a detriment to your identity. And today, I've also seen a video where a nigger coon woman was trying to make fun at the fact that she said that I cannot tell she's like, how does it feel? Or like, what is it like when you cannot tell anyone about your personal business? And it's just like, wow, you really are a stupid person, nigger coon, hence nigger coon. But it's just like, because I've already told a bunch of people exactly everything. Well, not everything, but it's just like, what is it else that's to tell? I don't have really shit to hide. It's just like everything about me, I literally told you. So I think that if you really wanted to know me, all you have to do is just ask. Because I mean, there's still, details about my life, about, like, my future prospects and things of that nature, that I've learned that I will keep to myself, because you bitches are so fucking just, you have not evolved. You are still the nigger coon ape shit bitches that have really, I've said it, yeah. Yeah, I've said it. But that's what you are, really. Like, you talk in a certain kind of language that we cannot, mutually come to an agreement with, and you obviously decided to reenact certain kind of behaviors that has been, back in ancient times. Practically, it's been over 100 years. So it's just like, you stupid ass bitch. Like, yo, what else is there to say? What else is there to say? Of course, you're not gonna understand some fucking intelligence when I say that when you're not, if the fact that you cannot compute the fact that I've already admitted to and disproved a lot of the fallacies that have been made about me. And I've already, I wouldn't say it's like really exposed, but like, I've talked about myself, and I've always done that. I've always done that. Unprovoked. I've always done that. So it's just like, yeah, like anything that was supposedly shared amongst you, I've already talked about. I literally went on Facebook, and I had or I went on Facebook the other day and talked about my mortgage payments. My mortgage payments are delinquent, but I explained to you exactly to why. So when somebody's saying that, oh yeah, so you didn't respond to homegirl's text, so now she's out here airing your dirty laundry, and it's just like, no, this bitch has been really competitive and trying to emulate my life for the longest. Like, I shit you not, the entire Trenton, New Jersey, including the entire city and the entire state and then the entire Black community, with heavy emphasis on the niggers and coons, have decided to try to silence me while they looked into my history and wanted to go ahead and give this woman many opportunities and try to do renditions of things that I've done in the past when it comes to, accolades, or when it comes to pursuits, or when it comes to any kind of goals that I wanted to achieve, and then try to achieve them for her or help her achieve them. And all in the meantime wanted to throw darts at me where it was coming to lies, a bunch of jokes, a bunch of fuck shit and things of that nature. And I'm just like, wow, like, yo, you really are a fucking minus. Like, yo, all of you are really fucking minuses. You don't have any fucking good leg to stand on. And I want to just wrap this up because it's going into 30 minutes because I actually want to do these things in segments. But it's just like I've already shown you videos before of how people with their religious beliefs are forcing the narrative that I wanted to still have a relationship with these people, or wanting to say that I should have a relationship with these people. And I've mentioned before about how toxic these religious people are. And that doesn't mean just Christians. It means people even in the spiritual community too. So you can't be like, oh, see, this is why I stopped being, Christian. And it's like, it doesn't escape. It's really about your mentality. Don't try to hide behind a fucking doctrine. It's really on your fucking mindset. Okay. You have the choice. That's supposed to be a freedom of choice. Okay. Minus Scientology, who tries to put you in a fucking contract. I mean, that should have sent off some red flags there. But it's just like people had literally took it upon themselves to capitalize and exploit and sign my name in places where I didn't sign, and decided to take my identity. And for years and years and years, over a decade. So that means that people, again, who were like 21 or like 11, who were not privy to this information, were growing up to further help the losers who are abusing me. I just want to leave you with this, okay, before I start the next video. I'm going to take some time and I want to start the next video. But the person right now is going to give you the person or the people right now, the losers are definitely going to start trying to give you a narrative if they haven't already. And they are working with companies, they are working with entities, they are working with a lot of businesses and institutions, because these were the people who were going on for decades. Definitely over a decade, but I'm thinking definitely two, because I have been like, saying either a decade or 2 decades, because again, a lot of this shit has been done behind my fucking back. I do know that this shit has been going over for a decade, based off on incriminating and the incriminating evidence that I have that have been happening in increments. And it's just like all this little stuff, definitely damn near 20 years, if not 20 years, but I'm pretty sure and confident it's been 20 years. So while these people have been working over for possibly for a decade, you people have been probably like, I shit you not, probably like 1 year old, or not even a thought right now. And you grew up conditioned like something from a Hitler, regime. I'm serious. That is a tactic. They have done that in order to go ahead and oppress me and silence me and think that this shit is normal, for you to stalk me, for you to harm me, for you to mock me, and then for you to start making like little TikTok references and Twitter references, or just watch me on social media and think that it's okay for you to go ahead and bash me off based off on lies, and based off on, oh, because you like my personality and things of that nature, that it's okay for you to go ahead and steal my ideas or try to criticize me from behind the wall because you like a modern human zoo lifestyle for me. That's so sick and disgusting. It's really sick and disgusting. It's mental illness. So that's that. So just know that you have been brought up into a world by the people who we were supposed to look up to and people who we were supposed to respect, that had helped this shit continue and go on. Also know that the shit that they were saying about, like, the history about Trenton, it people will really want to go ahead and try to water down a lot of the abuse, be like, oh no, you misunderstand, it was not like this, it was actually just this. No, there's multiple times when evidence has shown that people would like to try to show you how it was. People would definitely want to try to lessen the punishments that would happen to them by trying to give you a fucking storyline in order to lessen, again, the judgment and the criticisms and the justified punishments that they're supposed to get. Two, no, I'm sorry. And three that I want to talk to you about is the fact that, okay, the three is the thing I wanted to talk about. So I mentioned before about how these women, against, under the umbrella of different doctrinations, especially the spiritual ones in the tarot community, these women were talking about how they wanted to see me invested with or have a romantic connection with somebody who I obviously do not want to have a connection with. Like right now, it is not mentally sane to try to force me to be in a relationship or a connection or even a business partnership with somebody. Okay. And you want me to have a relationship with a man. Like ultimately, you want me to be surrounded by a man. And this right here is just a sample or evident. Like this right here is a sample of how toxic Christianity and just religions and people in general, especially Black people, are. You don't see a lot of reports or cases about pedophilia and rape and that nature. You normally see a lot of, well, not even a lot of, but you normally saw for a moment of time, Black people either blindly like something, probably bookmark something, but just kind of feel really heavy about moments when a Black person came up publicly and spoke on about how they were improperly touched or how they were by someone within their family or somebody who they trusted or somebody who their family trusted when they were a child. And it looks really bad on that person who spoke up because there's a lot of people who wanted to go ahead and keep silent because why? Because they were the ones who had to hold their tongue when their parents were telling them to go ahead and still hang out with the uncle or the aunt or whomever that had improperly touched them during family gatherings. When you actually had the confidence to speak to when you had the confidence to speak to set parents about being improperly touched, and they're over here shaming you, or worse, they're shaming you, and they're still inviting that person over into your family, to your family gathering, family functions, or they're still having this moment and this opportunity to wanting to have you guys meet or like hug or something like that. Like that's sick, man. That's sick. And you grow up thinking that it's fine. There's no TV show in order to tell you that it's right or wrong at that time yet. But they're just telling you that it's fine. And you can't really talk to anybody because who would you talk to? If the main people who you're supposed to trust, the main people who brought you in this world and supposed to protect you, literally told you that this is something that you should be comfortable with. There are Black people that are literally telling you at the end of the day, you don't even have to be touched. You just tell people about how wrong your own fucking family crossed you, and you'll still be like, well, that's your blood. Honey, no, not my days. Not my days, not as an adult, not my days. I'm telling you, that would uh, I haven't put that up there because I'm telling you, so many people are like driving by and it's really just like it's the wickedness. It's the wickedness. I'm telling you, it's just very broken people. But anyway, um, yeah, it's just like dirty business. It's really dirty business. I do not have any fucking remorse for any of the people that I'm calling out because it's just like, you know that you're wrong. You really know that you're wrong. And you're doing nothing but trying to continue being the dog that bites the tail when it comes to infecting and affecting negatively your offspring and your children and things of that nature. So yeah, get up off that shit. Get up off that shit. And don't try to distract the conversations by talking about my outfit and things of that nature. I'm still wearing my pajamas. I'm in my Bruno Mars. Today I don't feel like doing anything. I'm doing some light stuff around the house though, but in the most part, this is a Saturday. I deserve this. I earned that. That is why it's called the weekend. Okay. I'm pretty sure God would not judge me or look bad, or God Himself would look down on me for not wanting to work or having anything to do on a Sabbath. So you feel me? Like, stop it. The only people, like I said, the only people who really be talking like out of their fucking mouths is a fucking like picking any bitch ass nigga coon who's a Nazi church going person who really is just a fucking hating ass bitch. I said what I said and I said it again. I'm Papa the Sailor Man. So yeah, but no, I all right. It's about like 38 minutes, and I am gonna go. So I will check you out later in the next video. But ooh, no, no, no. One more thing. The reason why I had talked about that last part, the part about, the people really just, impeding and bulldozing over your rights and not wanting to go ahead and connect with people who have, either fucked you over or improperly touched you and things of that nature is because the same person who I had called out when I'm over here disproving the lies, the same person who had called out, she's using the excuse that she supposedly, she again, she's watering down one of the excuses about some of the things that, somebody who she's been having in her environment that got convicted of sexually abusing or like, harming a child, endangering a child's life. And she was just like, oh no, it was actually this that, that person got locked up for or incriminated for. It wasn't this. And it's the same thing, sweetie. It's the same thing. I'm not saying like that the one and the two are exclusive. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just like in relative to the examples that I've given you before about Al Capone, the mayor, and how certain people who are within Christianity, just definitely always trying to hide behind the Bible, trying to save fucking face and trying to be really fucking toxic, even when it comes to things like, improperly touching somebody. I'm saying here is just that this person is trying to water down, is basically trying to escape any accountability for the fuck shit that they've done and the things that I have literally called them out for. So what they're doing right now is that they're trying to make it seem like it's something else when no, it's an like literally you can go ahead. You know that it's evident, okay? And there's a thing called the inch and mile. You got away with something, and it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and grow with these kind of people. You've seen it in history. It's an inch and a mile when it comes to fucking disrespect. So if they are admitting to whatever it was, sweetheart, and you already seen this bitch go ahead about their way when it comes to like lying about just random ass shit or even just tactical shit where it was just like you wanted to try to get rid of me because you wanted to go ahead try to take over my life and try to repeat my life or copy it and copy my fucking my grandmother and my mother. That's some shit. That's some sick shit. So do not try to like do not try to erase, water down, excuse, or enable this person from going ahead to try to save face by saying, hey, look, my brother, this is, I'm speaking like I'm her. Hey, look, this person accused me of being da da da, sexually abusing children or whatever like that. Um, because, my brother did the same thing. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, I don't know where she got that idea from because my brother was only just, probably just hit the child and decided to go ahead and unfortunately, things just were a big misunderstanding, and they got locked up by, the cops, and that was I'm pretty sure that there's something kind of like something to that scenario or that narrative, but behind the doors, there have been actual harm and some really fucked up things that have happened. So the only thing that people got caught for was something that was minor, but inch and mile, bitch, for one. For two, this person will lie about the most outlandish things. For two, for three, I've given you the part about people really trying to water down situations, and this person right here has shown on multiple occasions that she is no different. She really is no fucking different. So that's just another contributive evidence to the fact that and the fact that people are doing weird, weird, questionable, and immoral and unethical things in order to not have their former life tethered to what they're doing now because they're still trying to get. It's not like you are moving in a good line or a good path because I mean, if you've done things that you know better and that you're doing better now, then that's okay. But if you are still doing fuck shit and you're still associated or affiliated with fuck shit, don't try to do that. It makes it pointless if at all for at any point at time. It really is. All right, again, it's 43 minutes now, but I can explain this better to you guys later. But it's just like, yeah, here you are trying to make it seem like you're not like you're not sexually abusing or assaulting younger children, and yet you're just really just kind of you're watering down something or you're gaslighting, you're watering down something, you're gaslighting people to fit a narrative to make you still try to seem innocent when in actuality you just keep getting called out for the awful and wicked person that you are, and you're trying to hide behind your Bible and your cultivated good image, you know, by the things, the things that you've done that have literally just mimicked the environment that you grew up when you were around me. And here we are. Like, it might try to be confusing initially to other people. Well, again, once I keep disproving all these lies and all these fallacies, it's just really going to start breaking down that fucking image that you so badly have been maintaining, or been trying to maintain for all these fucking years. And it just looks really fucking ugly and pathetic on you. It really, really fucking does. And the lengths that you're willing to go through to harm people, people who didn't mean you any harm, and people who have shown that they meant you no harm. It's just like you deserve every bit of the karma, um, or justice or whatever God serves you. You deserve every bit of it. Especially that judicial punishment. And that's it for right now.